Hi, I'm David, and welcome to my channel, A Talk About. I put together a list of 8 books to really be reading around this time of year, at least I think so. I know it can be a very busy time, but if you're not already doing it, I really think that it's something to give a try, as you'll find yourself off in another land and on an adventure, and I think you'll enjoy it. So let's go. Well, the first books are the Dragonlance Chronicles by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman, and starting with Volume 1, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, then Dragons of Winter Night, and then Dragons of Spring Dawning. It basically is about a bunch of friends, a bunch of old friends who get together with war looming over in the distance. A lot of talk of, and they have to basically go on a journey to find objects to face these mighty dragons in the lands. And this is a place of many different kinds of folk, like elves and dwarves, though dragons aren't really believed in general. It's told in a fun voice, and it's enjoyable to read. Following that is The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks, which is the first book of the Shannara series that is followed by the Elfstones of Shannara, and basically is set in a land of elves, dwarves, gnomes, and men, with the Warlock Lord and his kingdom of the north coming down to destroy and to defeat the whole world and bring it all under his rule. And within all this, the main hero of the story is Shia, who is a half man, half elf, and is the last of a certain bloodline that can wield a certain sword that must be found and hopefully bring victory. He is brought out of peaceful Shady Vale on a journey by the powerful Dread Elanon, and it's a great book and great series. And if you haven't checked out and watched the TV show, that is great as well. That happened, though it already is done. It's still something to maybe watch. If, for instance, you've read the book already, the TV series kind of helps bring it to life a little. And if you've only watched the TV show, then really check out the books. They're great. Next is Prince of Thorns, which is the first book of the Broken Empire trilogy by Mark Lawrence. It follows the main character, Jorg Ancraft, who lives a really nice, great life at first, but in contrast later, lives a wild one as a leader of thieves in a messed up world. It is a dark book and world as well, with a lot happening at every turn, with the main character really just facing it all and with a fearlessness. And though he has his past that keeps haunting him, and he has to basically face and live his life against his powerful enemies who have magic. And he's a very different character. He's imperfect, but he's something to follow and has his own reasonings for his path. The Shadow of What Was Lost, which is the first book of the Licanius trilogy by James Islington. There's a third book yet to come, which I hear might be coming out this coming year, 2019, hopefully. It is about a world where the people defeated others in the past and brought them under the rule, and with strict laws even now, years later. The main character, Davion, is born into all this on the wrong side of things, and finds he has powers that under the law he shouldn't have. He's not allowed to, and so he goes on this journey without understanding much. And there are other characters who are very different and all have various different backgrounds. And it's a book of interesting depth. Next is a science fiction short story collection, which is called The Best of the Best, 20 years of the year's best science fiction. It is, what I'm talking about, it's 2005 one, and is basically full of many short stories by very different authors and all very unique from each other. It's it's a great showcase of science fiction stories, and if you're not already into this is something to read. I think there is something for everyone to find, to get into. And I personally really enjoyed one called Blood Music by Greg Bear, which was interesting from the start and kind of just grew. And along the way, you found different things that were going on, and some weird science fiction event, a main science fiction event that was happening, and felt real when you were reading the pages. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, which is an ongoing series by the author. The world and story in this book is a very dark one that the author creates, with the evil leader having won and destroyed and taken over ultimate rule of the whole world, and with the heroes that came that tried to stop them having been defeated. And the leader basically rules everything with an iron fist, and there is basically just everything's this really horrible, harsh environment, and has gone on for many years like this, for many generations too, into the past. And it's I kind of like the interesting twist, the dark twist that the author brings to a story, knowing what it would be like for an evil empire to have won in the past. And there are good characters that do try to rise up in this and win and take back with some very interesting, amazing magical abilities. Next is the Cleric Quintet by R.A. Salvatore, which is a 5-book series with the main character, Priest Catterley, out of the Great Library, and a few others who go on a great quest. And after a curse has been released to the land, it is a great fun adventure to read, and it's something to just find and just spend some time with for a little while. Lastly is Castaways of the Flying Dutchman by Brian Jacques. It is the first book of a series that I thoroughly enjoyed, about a boy and a dog who were the innocent ones aboard a ship that was cursed, and they were saved by the angel who basically made them live forever, doing what he wants them to do. It was great watching and reading about them. Just go on and learn different things throughout history, always staying the same and going through different major events that happened through hundreds of years. It's a book to really just pick up when you want to just enjoy something and get lost into an adventure. I hope you like these suggestions. Give one a try if you have the time. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you'd like to watch more. And I hope to see you next time. See you then.